Hi everyone, in this video I want to give you 5 really great tips for helping you to write and publish a best-selling book, and that's the key word, best-selling. It's a question that keeps coming up on my book writing and publishing courses. People are wanting to not just write a book, but they want to get it to bestseller. And there's a number of things that you can do, and these are the things that I teach on my training courses. So I'm going to give you some great golden nuggets in here. And if you've got any questions at the end of the video, post them in the comments box below and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. So the 5 key things that you need to focus on, I'll go through them in detail. The first one is obviously great content. It doesn't matter what kind of book you're writing, regardless of the genre, your content has to be really good. And you might say to me, well, of course it's got to be good. But a lot of authors fail to follow this process. Whenever I sit down to write a book, and I especially did this in the early days, I thought to myself, how can I take my reader on a transformational journey? So the key point is, when they buy your book, they're at point A and they want to get to point B. And it's your job to transform them, and you do that through fantastic content. So think about the steps that you're going to take people on this transformational journey, and those steps should be your chapter titles. Now, when you create really strong content, try and think about the different things that you can include in the content that are based around any of these different areas. First of all, can you create content that develops or increases intrigue? So that can be done with your chapter titles, or also with your book title and strapline. Like, one of the greatest books out there is The Secret. By virtue of the title itself, that creates lots of intrigue. Can you help people get ahead? Everybody wants to get ahead in life, or in business, or in work. Create content that helps them to get ahead. Can you include any kind of specialist information or insider knowledge? So one of the first books that I wrote was based around my career, on how to become a firefighter. Like, thousands of people want to become firefighters, and I created insider information because I was in the job at the time, and I called my guides the Insider's Guide to Becoming a Firefighter. So do you know any kind of insider knowledge that you can help people to get ahead? Helping people to get an advantage over others, and also that all-important transformation. And what I mean by that is, by reading your content, what should happen is the reader at the end of the book should be transformed, or a long way to being transformed. So always create really strong content. It's got to be really good, because it's true that you can get a book initially to bestseller, but your content will get caught out if it's not strong enough. And the key thing with great content is you want to get good reviews for your book. So the second key tip, that first one is content. The second one is a really strong book cover design. I'm going to give you a couple of really good tips here that will help you create a great book cover design. Now, of course, you can go along to websites like Fiverr.com, Upwork.com, and a lot of authors make the mistake that they go along to these websites and they pay the cheapest price possible. You don't want to do that. Yes, you don't want to be paying a fortune for good book cover design, but more often than not, a simple, clear, bold cover will work really well. And the main test for a book cover design is, once it's created, is show it to somebody who's got no idea what your book is about, hold it up and say to them, what's this book about? And they should be able to tell you from the cover design, the title and the strapline. Like this book here, it needs no explanation from me to tell you what the content's about. Now, the reason why I do that is because when people buy books online, especially on Amazon or the book depository or wherever it is they're getting it from, you're not going to be sat next to them to say, oh, the book cover design is this is what the title means. So especially with non-fiction books or business-related books, make sure the cover sends that message out to them, because you're not going to be there to tell them what the content's about. So with your book cover design as well, if you are going to be in business, or you're creating a non-fiction book whereby you're going to be a coach or a mentor, consider putting yourself on the front cover of the book. Another really good tip, what you could do, is to put your website address on the bottom of the book cover, and then people might go direct to your website, where you can, collect legitimately names and email addresses, and then you can upsell different products and services. Now, the third category, and this is a really strong one, and one that some people take a bit of getting used to, and that's understanding what are called BISAC categories. Now, when you go onto Amazon, or you go into a Waterstone store, you won't notice this initially, but if you start to open your eyes and look around, you'll see that books are categorized in a certain way, and they're categorized using what's called BISAC codes. And BISAC stands for Book Industry Standards and Communications, and there's a book industry study group. Sounds really boring, but it's actually really important. So when you self-publish a book and you upload it onto Amazon using CreateSpace or the KDP platform, you get to choose up to 2 categories for your book. Now the first category should be, in my opinion, glaringly obvious, okay? So if you're writing and publishing a business book, then one of the categories here is in alphabetical order, business and economics. So you would choose that category for it. The second category should, in my opinion, be quite niche, okay? And one perhaps where there's not as many books in that category. Now the BISAC codes can be found on the Book Industry Study Group website, and these are the main genres, okay? So you need to study these for your book because you get to choose up to 2. So study the different categories and then choose the main one and go through each one of them and then look for the subcategory. Like I say, the first one should be, in my opinion, glaringly obvious. The second one should be a little bit more niche. So for example, a lot of books that I've published are in the career sector or educational sector. And by looking at this, you would say to me, well, they should go in the career sector, but there isn't one for a main BISAC category. You have to study these and understand them, and you will notice that in business and economics, when you click through on that main category, it will take you through to careers and go even deeper with regards to job hunting, career guidance and advice, etc. So the BISAC codes are really important because what you're essentially doing is telling Amazon, my book is based on these particular subjects. And then Amazon knows to tell people who've bought previous books or products in those genres to present that book to those people because they might be interested in them. Okay, so selecting the BISAC categories is optional, but please make sure you do it and study them. So it's book, industry, standards and communication, really important. Now another great tip for getting to bestseller is to actually, if you're brave enough, and you should be, is to put your book on pre-order sale. Now if you're publishing using the Amazon CreateSpace platform for your print version, which I recommend you do by the way, is that you get up to 3 months to put your book on pre-order. So you should put it on pre-order straight away. And sometimes what we do in my publishing business is we get the book cover design done first of all, put the book on pre-order even before we start writing it, because it's a great motivator to get us to actually to the finishing line so the book's finished. And those people who've been on my training courses will know one thing that I promote a lot and encourage authors to do is to set aside a certain amount of time a day and write a set number of pages per day. If you write 3 pages a day, which everybody can do, and then after a month you'll have almost 100 pages of content. But by putting your book on pre-order and then telling people about it on social media online, my book is coming out on this day, you've got to get the content finished, you've got to get it done. So this is a real great motivator, and that actually means that one of the first things that you should do is to get your book cover design created first of all. So come up with your book idea, form your transformational chapters, you're going to take people on this journey through your book, but get your book cover design created first of all. So that's the pre-order part. And for those people, I coach people. You'll notice on my LinkedIn profile or Facebook, I'm a book coach and a trainer. For people who work with me on a one-to-one basis, I insist they get the book cover design ordered straight away. We get that done straight away after their initial consultation. Now the 5th tip, and this is a pretty golden one, is to make sure that you price drop on the day of launch on Amazon. And what I mean by this is that you drop the price. Let's say your book is on sale for $12.99 if it's a non-fiction book. Think about dropping the price to say $4.99 on your Amazon launch date. Okay, so drop the price on there and then drive as many people as possible to that page on your launch date and get as many people to buy it on that date. Now, I haven't got the time to go into it today, but there is a method that you can use to get people to sort of, be aware that your book is coming out on a certain date. You can also offer them a bonus in addition to the book being half price. You might create a quick online training video or online training course to the value of say £50 or £100, and you'll give that on the day that they actually buy the book as well. So the idea is that you get a lot of people to come to your Amazon sales page on a particular day to help it get through to the bestseller status. And another key tip is on the launch date to only have one version of your book available, one format. So that is either a print version or Kindle version. Don't have both of them available on the same day. And the reason for that is when you drive people to your Amazon sales page on the day of launch, they might buy the Kindle version or they might buy the print version instead. And that can dilute your bestseller status because Kindle has a different bestseller ranking and the print version has a different bestseller ranking too. You just want to give people the one option to buy it. So that's the 5 tips for getting your book to bestseller. There's loads of different tips that I want to give you. If you want to know more, come along to one of my book writing and publishing training courses. They run up in London, near Heathrow at the Novo Hotel. Click the link above the video, go to the website bookpublishingcourses.com. They're free of charge to attend. Those people who know me and have worked with me, I love to give free content. And like I say, put the comments below the video if you want to ask me any questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you very much for watching.